Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to our board meeting rewind. The first board meeting of 2024 was last night, Thursday, here at the field house. We have people in person and people attending online through Zoom. If you'd like to know how to participate on our board meetings, you go to our website and click on the calendar. You can see the agenda and you can see the link to click on to view the meeting on Zoom. And of course, you're always welcome to attend in person. But here we go. We started off the meeting with an executive session. Now, the board can go into executive session for discussions of employment, compensation, for the discipline of an employee or a student, for negotiations regarding real estate purchases, to receive legal advice or handle legal matters, and for discussions regarding security. What happens is if you're in person and the board has an executive session on the agenda, like they did last night, then everybody, we all just go out and we wait outside of the board meeting room while they have the executive session portion, and then they invite us to come back in after. If you're attending online, the meeting will just end, and you kind of have to just watch for it to come back on. We've got people here on site during the board meeting to watch for you to let you back in when out of the waiting room when you come back on. But that's kind of the differences of in person versus online during the executive session. The board came out of the executive session and they made a motion and voted to approve the salary scales for school employees for the upcoming year. Now, January kicks off the hiring season for new teachers and staff, so the board approved the salary scales for our employees. We work really hard to make sure our staff are compensated fairly, based in according to other schools and districts around us and in the state of South Carolina. Following the executive session, we moved on to a end statement report. The board uses a policy governance model in order to hold the school accountable and make sure we make good progress. Now, you can actually find the details of that if you go on to the website and you click on the menu and you click on the school board link. It takes you to a section of documents, and one of those is the board governance piece. We've been using that for the past 7 years, and it's been one of the significant pillars of the school's success during that time. So each month, the school reports on compliance with one of the policies and the success and progress of our students relative to the stated purpose of the school's goals. Last night, we reviewed a section on that was called 2G, and it's on employee compensation. And the board voted and found that we were in compliance with that policy. They also reviewed and noted adequate progress for students making in the areas of skills, character, and determination necessary to excel in their post-secondary pursuits in life. So now's a good time to put a plug in for how we're doing that. If you haven't heard of the Seven Mindsets curriculum, haven't had a chance to talk to your students about that, ask them about it, or ask your teachers, or your building principals for more information. And we're also very excited to announce our first annual professional student conference for juniors and seniors coming up on March 4th. During that day, they'll be able to sit down in a professional setting, workshops ranging anywhere from how to find out and apply for scholarships, how to what careers are available in technical schools in the military, how to start your own business, everything that they may be interested in, and to kind of help them launch off from York Prep into their lives will be available for them that day. We have a great keynote speaker, so if you're parents of a junior or senior, look forward to some exciting stuff coming up. All right, so following the report on the end statements, we talked about a charter update. Now, the board is working to modify language in the charter that would relieve the school of some of the burden of required testing. That is too much and doesn't provide any benefit to our students. Now, there are some tests that we will always have to take and that we'll always have to go through. However, through modifying some of the language of the existing charter, we'll be able to opt out of some of the other tests and kind of free up our students to focus on learning and to focus on the other things going on at school. Future board meetings will highlight the sections and changes that the board will be approving as they're discussed. All right. So after that, the board has to approve. There's a rule they have to approve any expenditures over $20,000 that occur outside of their forecasted budget for the year. This month, the IT department submitted a request to replace some critical pieces of our technology infrastructure. As you can see here, there are some servers and related items that have been submitted and were approved by the board last night. Now, the way that those were obtained were through state contract pricing. State contract pricing is when there's an item or a service that schools use a lot of throughout the state. The state actually will go through and will bid out and negotiate the best prices with vendors, and then they'll make that available to schools. And that's what we've done here. We found, some servers that they had, and they'd gone through that process on, and as a result, we're able to find a good price on that. Following the server replacement, the board agreed and reviewed a quitclaim which approves a right-of-way access for a homeowner who's building a house in the land behind the elementary school. Now, as a part of that agreement, the school will also take possession at no cost of some small amounts of other property that had been granted to developers as easements previously in the neighborhood. So overall, a win-win for the school, and an ability for a homeowner to have a driveway and access it. Lastly, the school requested a work session with the board to discuss upcoming improvements to the campus as a final phase to finish off the development of the school's buildings to maximize safety, accessibility, and to better support the school's purpose of helping students, one by one, to be prepared to excel after high school. Future projects will be discussed and approved following the work session and at later board meetings. Again, if you have questions or if you'd like to review the votes and the minutes of the meetings, you can return to the school board section of the website that we showed you earlier, or you can reach out to the school at any time. I'm Mr. Myrup, and this was your board rewind, and hope you have a great weekend.